everyone, and a special welcome to Cancer. This video is for you if you were born under the zodiac sign of Cancer. And it's Cancer season coming up shortly. So, as always, I'm making this tarot message video for you. And whenever you're watching this video, Cancer, there's an important message, or maybe several important messages in this video that you can relate to. So no matter the time when you're watching it, hopefully you'll be able to resonate with this little tarot message. And as always, I'm going to get started by giving you a brief general description of the zodiac sign. And I would like to give a little disclaimer here. Obviously, this just jumped out, so we're going to talk about that later. So obviously, a general description is just that, a description that roughly fits everyone who belongs to the sign of Cancer, but there's definitely individual differences that come out in personal readings. So if you're a Cancer and you would be interested in getting a birthday reading or an analysis of your birth chart, you can find the description and the information in my description box about these reading types. Or if you're someone who has a Cancer friend or relative that they would like to give a special birthday present to, these reading types are really unique gifts. And so you can contact me on my email address, and you can read up on these reading types in the description box, like I said. So we had a card just jump out right at the beginning of the reading. It's the 9 of Pentacles. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. And I think it's just a brief and quick reinforcement to you, Cancer, that what you're doing is going to pay off eventually. So the 9 of Pentacles is a card of patience, and it's a card of independence as well. So if you've been working on creating your financial independence, this is a card that's giving you the message that you're on the right path. So immediately we're starting off on a positive note with you. But let me just dive into the specifics with Cancer. Cancer is a water sign, and that means that these people are heavily operating from an emotional basis. And what that means is when they are making decisions, when they're starting relationships, when they are starting careers, basically every part of their life is influenced by their emotional preferences and their underlying emotional structures. And in extreme cases, that can mean that the person is extremely moody, very easily offended, and is just really vulnerable. Cancer, I think, is the most vulnerable of the 3 water signs. Scorpio has kind of a thicker skin, Pisces also, I think they both have tend to be more resistant to outside influences. Cancer can be easily swayed and easily influenced because they are so sensitive. And with Cancer, there's this aspect of caring. These are deeply caring people who are, like I said, very receptive and very sensitive to other people's emotional states. And they're just wired that way. They want to know, they want to empathize, they want to know what's going on with the other person. And that can be difficult for them to kind of work with that on a daily basis. When you have that level of sensitivity in certain professions, this sensitivity comes in handy, but in your private life, you might find that it's really difficult not to get overwhelmed and not to try to solve everybody's problems. Cancer is this archetypal mother figure. There's this really strong element of a homemaker in Cancer's character, even if it's a Cancer man. More often than not, they are just really interested in creating a homely atmosphere for everybody that they love. And when there's problems in the family life, when they're growing up, that can be extremely hard on them. I think when there's a divorce or a death happening in the family early on, that can really, really affect Cancer, perhaps even stronger than any other sign, because they are so sensitive. And the way Cancer tends to react to trauma is that they get emotionally closed up. So if there's something traumatic going on with Cancer, they often withdraw into their own shell, and they become extremely difficult to get access to. So on the one hand, we have an extremely sensitive, vulnerable individual who wants to make everybody happy, but if there's something going wrong, especially early on, then they become sort of withdrawn and aloof. Another thing that I observed about Cancer is that they have a wicked sense of humor. I think that's not something that comes up often when we're talking about Cancer, but they just have this really quirky, really fun, kind of dark sense of humor that I really enjoy. And there's even this phrase, the lunar laugh. I think Cancer people can laugh like children, and they are just really feeling liberated when they can joke around and share that side of themselves with others. And that's really therapeutic for them, and hence the lunar laugh, because the ruling planet of Cancer is the moon. So let's see what the message is that's coming through. for you, Cancer. And I think I've got it. So we have a card that belongs to the suit of swords. It's called the Mind. I believe this is the Knight of Swords. And what we need to know about this card is that it's an indication that you're overanalyzing and overcomplicating your own feelings. That happens pretty often with Cancer, that they use the rational side of their thinking, of their brain, of their mind, to overcomplicate things instead of reducing the clutter. So there's some warning in this card not to get carried away by your own thoughts, your own beliefs. The interpretation of this card in this deck is especially negative. Everything about the sword suit in the Osho Zen Tarot deck is pretty negative. So I need to factor that into this reading. So you're more tortured by this process than gaining anything from it. And since we had this Nine of Pentacles card jumping out in the beginning, I think there's some encouragement there, but it's encouraging you to go into a different direction. Instead of chewing and rechewing and reanalyzing and ruminating on your thoughts, there's a level of obsession with this card and a lack of productivity. If you look at this image, it's kind of like a demonic factory inside your head that's creating all these negative thoughts that are really not taking you anywhere. So instead of trying to deal with your problems on a mental level, which is really hard since you're so deeply driven by your emotions and analytical thinking are really hard to reconcile, and it's probably not worth it. It's not worth it to try to translate your emotional reality into a cold, hard, factual structure. So what you're trying to do here is not really fruitful. However, the card of ripeness, the card of the Nine of Pentacles, is showing you what you can actually do with your energies, and even these anxious energies that are manifesting in this card can be turned into something wonderful and productive with the Nine of Pentacles. So you need to be really honestly, genuinely focused on wanting to produce tangible results. So don't get caught up in your thinking. Focus on processes that are aimed at creating value of some sort. So that could be with your career, your job, any project that you're working on, renovating your house, or building something, or a creative project of any kind, something that has a measurable outcome. So if you decide to stick with that and really focus on that and put your energy into that, then you will have a lot of success. And the Nine of Pentacles is telling me and is telling you that it's going to bring you not only stability, but also a sense of self-reliance, a sense of pride that you were able to create something on your own that is really bringing you all these wonderful, positive rewards and results. So I wish you a lot of luck with that, Cancer, and I hope that you enjoy this reading and found it helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video, and see you in my next one.